Fitness Today presents. Welcome to the Listen by Heart podcast, where we feature stories from women of the South China Sea. I'm Jasmine Low, and today I will be joined by Amanda Nell Eu, a Malaysian film director and screenwriter known for her recent body horror film Tiger Stripes. The film won the Critics' Week Grand Prize, Semaine de la Critique Cannes, when it was shown at the 2023 Cannes Film Festival in France in May 2023, and it was then selected as the Malaysian entry for the Best International Feature Film at the 96th Academy Awards. Amanda runs Ghost Grrl Pictures with a co-founder. She is known for an earlier film about two teenagers and a female vampire who solely attacks men, an urban legend tale in Malaysia and Indonesia. The film is titled lagi Senang Jaga Sekandang Lembu, or in English, It's Easier to Raise Cattle. That film was featured at the Clermont Ferrand International Short Film Festival in 2018. Enjoy and subscribe to the Listen by Heart podcast on your favorite platform, be it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, Player FM, and so on. Or you can visit our website, listenbyheart.webprojects, spelt WEBPROJX.com. Hi, Amanda. How are you?
Hi, fine, thank you.
Thanks for joining us today.
Happy to join.
There's not really been a Malaysian filmmaker that's done this route that you have. And so it's really exciting.
Yeah, I mean, it's been 10 years since a Malaysian film has been in Cannes, and it's the first Malaysian film to have ever won like anything in Cannes, let alone like one of the top prizes. So it's been really, really crazy, like very unexpected kind of beginning, but like amazing. Yeah, I was not expecting my 2023 to be that wild, but after the premiere in Cannes and everything, a lot of traveling, a lot of meeting different audiences, going all over the world, and screening the film and sharing it with a lot of people, which has been
Malaysia, where you were born in 1985, I believe. Tell us about your growing up times.
I grew up in KL, in the city. So, in the 80s and 90s. And I had two older sisters, one younger brother. So I was kind of a middle child. And I guess, I mean, in the family dynamics, I think I'd like to claim that I was my dad's favorite. As much as like the rest of my siblings really hate that. But like, I guess I was like kind of maybe treated or at least like decided that I was like the princess of the family. I think it was maybe some attention seeking thing, but like that was just what I claimed, that I was like the ultimate princess and everyone had to like just like fawn to me. Not that my siblings ever did, but it was in my head that that was me. Yeah.
Did you have a family nickname?
I did. This was like allocated by my mother, so it's in Cantonese, but it's like it's apparently based on some moon goddess because I have a very like round face. So like whenever she got angry with me, she would call me this like moon character, and so I tell my friends that in the UK, like, oh, my mom calls me moon face. They're like, that's a bit harsh. I'm like, oh, you don't know, like Asian parents are like that. That's just how they are. So it's like, yeah, that was my nickname when I was a kid, and I mean, luckily,
Was it like an Enid Blyton reference or not? Because I love the character
like a
Moonface.
Cantonese thing. It's like a Cantonese character, which I've never heard of.
How do you say it?
Oh, Mei Yu. So Mei Yu is the moon for sure, but I don't know where it comes from.
And what's ngo?
I have no idea.
Oh.
That's the thing. Like, I think it was some character who lives in the moon, like some female character who lives in the moon.
I'll make sure to bring this up if I ever interview a Cantonese speaking person.
Yeah, you can.
No, may you.
Yeah, I want to know the truth behind it. I don't trust what my family's calling me sometimes. Maybe they're like trolling me or something. Yeah.
Okay, so daddy's favorite girl, little princess, and then so would you like to share a little bit about Daddy's history, his paternal history?
Yeah, I mean,
Right, how many
paternal
generations?
history is quite well known in Southeast Asia.
Mhm.
So we are from a very, very big family, the Yu family, and my goodness, I think my great grandfather was the one who moved, who left China and settled in Malaya at the time. And so, yeah, I don't know how many generations is that. So that's great grandfathers.
Great. That means early 1800s,
Yes,
1820s,
definitely 1800s. Yeah, for sure. I
1820s, I
think
think.
I'm
Mm.
like fifth generation.
Fifth generation. Yep.
So I'm like super Malaysian. Here for a long time. But yeah, so that's really like my dad's kind of side of the family. Very, very Confucian thinking. My great grandfather was like a feng shui master.
Mhm.
So he really taught a lot of very Confucian and sometimes extremely patriarchal values in families. So I would grow up, as a young girl always questioning why some of the elders would treat me as second rate to my brother and things like that. So yeah.
Oh, so the surname is EU, but in Chinese, how do you say it?
So Cantonese is you.
You, as in YU in Cantonese, what
Mm.
we normally see, is it? Or Yi,
Maybe. I
or
mean, it's
YII?
the
Is
pronunciation is just you. So like, but yeah, we write it as EU. Yeah.
okay, as in not the Tiger Balm people, right?
No,
Okay.
you Sang the
Ah,
yeah
the health foods people,
the TCM people.
TCM. Wow, that is actually, I think your logo is like some kind of root.
Yeah, it's a root with our family name, like kind of.
That's a pretty cool logo.
Yeah, it's actually quite cool. Yes.
As I'm speaking, I'm visualizing the store that I know, which is in Penang. It's at the corner. It's
Yeah.
very. So, is your family
The
from
old.
Penang or not from Penang? There's no Penang roots there.
No, we are very much like around Ipoh area and then Singapore and then also a bit in Hong Kong.
Okay, so that means it's Teochew
Cantonese.
Cantonese. Very
Cantonese.
interesting. Actually, I had a conversation with somebody else about food, right? And when people say Chinese food, you're gonna you're gonna go into the levels. Like what?
So many different
Oh,
like you cannot just say Chinese food. What type of Chinese food? So many like different regions and different flavors and different styles. So yeah.
and I think the Cantonese really had the science of food making right because they are the ones with the wok hey, with the big huge wok and the
Yeah.
hot flaming fire, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean the Cantonese is probably what most people when they say Chinese food is what they're thinking of because like even from the early 80s and 90s, when you go to Chinese restaurant, it's basically Cantonese food. Like Chinese restaurant in Western countries, it would be Cantonese food. Yeah.
Well,
But now
believe it or
it's
not, yes, now it's changed. Like in
hot
Australia, for
pot, there's
example.
mala, there's Sichuan, there's
Yes,
and all that stuff. So yeah, it's great. Yeah.
there's so many kinds coming out now that you're tasting so many different flavors, and you're just like, oh,
Exactly.
is this still Chinese food?
Yeah.
So, okay, that's really interesting. So that means you came from if we were in the old days, you're from like the chemists, the concoctionists.
I guess Chem is I mean, probably a lot more, to be honest. Like, I'm not shy about what my family was, but yeah, my great grandfather was had his hand in many things, like tin mines. I think tin mines was the one that really where he struck gold or struck tin. But so yeah, he had a lot of businesses involved. Yeah,
Entrepreneur.
yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks for sharing that. But you were in Malaysia until the age of what, 11?
11, yes,
And
yeah.
then what happened after that?
So then I got sent to boarding school in the UK, and basically stayed there for like how many years like 17 like 16, 17 years, yeah, before
That's
I
my dream. I mean, I think it's every girl who read the books.
yeah Yeah.
Mallory Towers and all that, right?
Yes.
Say our
Yeah.
dream. So did you get up to all that nonsense?
But the thing is, like, in the books, it sounds so fun, and then the reality is like actually not that nice. Like, I think, no, of course, like, when I was there, like 11, 12, it was very sweet, and you got to navigate this kind of girl world, which is very much in the film Tiger Stripes. I think that I get it. I've seen it. I've experienced it like firsthand how girl world is 24/7. But it's also very fun to, be able to like share rooms with your best friends every day. It's like a constant sleepover. But I think around when I was like in my teens, like let's say like 14, 15, that was when the teen angst came and I absolutely detested it. Like I hated it so much. I wanted to like leave. I wanted to like escape. So yeah, I mean
But in a
books
way,
are fun, but the reality is like it's mixed. It's a harsh environment, to be honest, actually. Sometimes I have to like say that it's not for everyone. I had a lot of fun. I made like amazing friends that are still,
yeah.
some of my closest friends today. But
Mhm.
but it's difficult. Like now.
This was in London.
This was in Buckinghamshire, so it's slightly outside, maybe about
Okay.
like 45 1 hour train ride away from London. Yeah.
But I suppose at that age you didn't have to deal with parents, right? Like
Yeah, that was the amazing thing. Like I loved it. I was a really bad kid, so yeah, and I definitely kind of used it to my advantage that my parents were not in the same country, let's say.
wait, you say you're a really bad kid, but what's your definition of bad?
Oh, like bad, like did a lot of things that were illegal and underage. Let's say.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, the naughty, the bad kid, at least in my family, definitely, yeah, the rebellious one, and would always fight back and like kind of want to do the things that I wanted to do,
Yep.
and no one was gonna stop me. Yeah.
I mean, if you look back, 14-year-old self, what did you think 14-year-old self would have thought about 30-something-year-old self now?
Whoa, I never thought of that. I don't know. I hope she thinks she's cool. Yeah.
I mean, what did you want to do when you were 14? Because I remember in school, people asked me what I wanted to do, and as a joke, but people took it seriously. I said, I want to be a housewife.
Right. Yeah. That's great. No, I mean, like, it's such a weird thing to ask a 14-year-old kid, right? They don't know anything. They don't know, like, the hell life is. But I think, no, when I was 14, 15, around there, I, because I went to a very academic school. So it was always like, academia was like the thing you had to do. But at the same time, I had so much love for music and art. And that was really where I spent like all my free time and my weekends, in the art studio and in the music studio, like just playing and creating. But at the end of the day, you couldn't say to your teachers, oh, I want to work in the arts. They'll be like, oh, don't do that. And so I would always tell people that I wanted to be a vet. At that time, I thought I like I was expected to be doing medicine and to be a doctor. That was something that the parents have always been telling me that I should be doing, and that was what I was born to do. And so didn't want to be a doctor, and I thought the next closest thing would to be an animal doctor because I really, really love animals. And I was like, well, I'll do that. And then I remember like my mother like was so upset because she was like, oh my God, that's like the worst kind of doctor you can be. And then as I grew up, then it just became even more shocking when I was like, I'm gonna go to art school. And that was like, oh my God, can you go back to being a vet? I'm like, no.
I
So
see
yeah.
what you mean by bad girl because you were adamant to have things like you had that thought process
Yeah, I
of
was
what you
adamant
wanted to
to
do.
like do what I wanted to do, and
Yeah.
no one would stop me like at all. Yeah.
So at that age, like 14, 15, 16, what inspired you? What was on TV, for example? What did you watch on TV?
Well, I was very much into music, so it
Yeah.
was a lot of like grunge music. It was a lot of Riot Girl. It was a lot of like female bands that I was really into. I was definitely like the goth kid, the rock kid at school, the girl who wore fishnets and like black eyeliner.
I
So
was gonna say,
yeah.
okay, just like that little doll, those bobbing head dolls
I don't know
with the black eyeliners.
Probably, yeah.
Those. What do they call them? Those bobbing head dolls that you put on your car, and then the head just
oh,
goes.
yeah. The ones that move in your car.
And then it's like the Muerta. What's that? Death Day in Mexico that they celebrate.
Mexico Day of the Dead. Yeah, yeah. I loved all those kind of things. I love like goth, grunge, rock, punk. Like that was really my thing when I was teenager, and still is actually.
Yeah. Well, go-to song. What's your go-to song?
When I was younger,
that
was a while ago, but I loved bands like Hole and Babes in Toyland, which were these kind of 90s.
Actually, I have to say,
yeah,
Hole is pretty good.
Yeah, Hole, L7, Babes in Toyland, all the 90s kind of grunge female bands were like, I guess, very inspiring to me. It was like women who didn't care and they would like be gross and sweaty and like not be like
not shave.
Yeah, like all the expectations that society puts you on. Those were women that kind of broke these expectations and were badass and loud and messy, and I love that. Yeah.
And that time would be around the year 2000 and
My goodness,
2000-ish, right? It's
around 2000.
Yeah. When we were so worried that 1999 to 2000 we were all gonna just switch off.
Yes, the world was gonna end. That was hilarious. That was amazing.
That was really funny.
Yeah.
Do you remember what you did 1999 for the New Year's Eve to 2000?
Yeah, I was with my family in back in KL. Yeah, like celebrating with them. Of course, like very moody and with all my black eyeliner and gold.
Goodness, did they even allow you out?
Yeah, I mean, like I was a goth kid since I was like 12 years old. So yeah.
So then you went and studied in a very prestigious design art school.
Yes, yeah. I went to Central St. Martin's to do graphic design. Yeah.
Lovely. What do you remember out of that experience?
It was fun. I mean, it was like the first time when I got to kind of really focus on art and creating, and that was like all we had to do was that, like, every day. But
and no mid journey to do posters, yeah.
No, at that time, no. Well, I'm still very bad and require. Sometimes I don't know if I learned any kind of graphic design skills per se. Like I'm still terrible at Photoshop and Illustrator. But that's beside the point. I think it was just to be in a space where it was about creativity and that was very exciting to me, to kind of talk to people who are learning that and were excited about that. But at the same time, I was again not the most, let's say, even studious student. I was in a band, I was in the music industry, I was in the scene. So I was focused on playing gigs and making music videos and being in that kind of scene as well. And so when I was in St. Martin's, I fell really like in love. I fell deeply in love with like making short films and music videos for the bands, and also like learning how animation works, and ended up being like, oh, like I actually don't do any print media at all. Like I really love like kind of the moving image kind of side. So that was my experience there. Yeah.
Gosh, at that time, what would you have used to create videos? Because I mean, technology moves so fast, right? That would be what, like 2005-ish, I suppose.
Yeah, so we used DV cam, a lot of DV cam, learning how to do that. But also I got to work with 16mm film. So we're using an old Bolex camera, learning how to put the film in and everything, and shooting on 16mm was really, really fun. I loved it.
Yeah. That's the foundation of you as a filmmaker.
Yeah, I think that was really, it was funny because like I said, I made a lot of music videos for my bands that I was in. And I remember when I was going into, I think it was my first year of film school, and I had to leave my band because I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't like spend so much time being a musician. I wanted to focus, like I actually had focus finally. I wanted to focus on, my film work. And like my band members, when I was telling them, I'm gonna do this, they were like, yeah, we've never seen you so alive when you were making our videos. Like when you had a camera with you, like you just became like a completely different person. So that was like bittersweet. It was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry and so sad I'm leaving. But like it's amazing that you guys could see that. Yeah.
That's really nice. That's really nice. That's a really nice story to share. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
And so after that, did you go out to work for somebody, or you went back to
After
school?
school or
Before film school?
so after St. Martin's, of course I couldn't drop out as an Asian kid. It was like, no, I have to like just scrape through, and like I think I had like some medium-ish pass, but I'm surprised because like I just didn't know graphic design, so somehow they kind of graded me on my kind of film work, which was great. And then after that, I spent 1 year being a musician and touring, like
Really?
in the US, and also they're having like part-time jobs, like working, in a shop, and
So
that was
musician was really like on your radar. I'm going to be a musician. And what was your your band name?
I don't know. It wasn't that on my radar. I just fell into it because, like I said, I was really into like the scene when I was a teenager, and so as soon as I finished school and I went to let's say art school, I was asked to play in bands because I can play the drums. So I had many bands, like you always change and everything. But I think that the last band I was in was this Japanese kind of band based in UK called Screaming Tea Party. So that was the last one, yeah. But I had loads of other bands before that, for sure, yeah.
I would love to listen to Screaming Tea Parties.
Yeah, it's on Spotify. It's really fun. Like
Screaming Tea Party. Okay, I'll look out for it. Oh, it's so fun. We are journeying with you from the age of 11 to like what? Like you're now 20 something. This is a whole lot of fun.
yeah, I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of like kind of really great experiences, I think. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm sweating here because it's 33 degrees today.
Oh my God, of course. Yeah, I
Banyak
understand.
panas. And
Yeah.
I didn't turn my fan on because I don't want to interfere with the sound.
Yeah.
But anyway, okay. So after that, then you went and did a master's.
Yeah. Then I enrolled to do a master's in film because I think it was pretty much like, I think this is what I love to do. I think like I found it. Even though I've always been into cinema since I was like a teenager, like since I was, 15-year-old girl, like I was exploring cinema like so much all through my life. But I think it was then, I can't remember how old I was, like maybe 24 or something, like
Yeah.
or 25, where I was like, I think I want to go to film school and really like figure it out. There.
I think that age you would be going back to Malaysia for Chinese New Year and everybody's like, oh, so when are you getting married? Blah, blah, blah. That kind of thing, right? Did you get that drone?
I mean, not so much actually. I think my family, at least in my perspective, has always seen me as like a very different person like to everyone else. It was like, oh, Amanda, yeah, she's different. Like she does her own shit. Like there's no way you can like tell her to like, I guess like be like everyone else or like do the things that is expected of her.
But it's cool that they gave you the room. They gave you the room.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was just a constant kind of back and forth and fight and argument and discussions and just always showing who I am, I guess, like to my family was a thing. Yeah.
Did you ever try to conform? Just curious.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean,
That's
yeah, it's
so
funny.
healthy,
Now you
actually.
see my film, so it's like it kind
Yeah.
of goes with like the themes of my film.
I love it. I mean, the fact that you had so much support as well when you were discovering yourself in
Absolutely.
the artistic side of.
Yeah. Like even though it was like a world where I think like my parents were just they had no idea about. Like it's not like I had a lot of family who were in the arts. It was something totally scary and different for them. But there was still like so much support and so much like kind of okay, let's just see what she's gonna do. Like, so I think it must have been terrifying, yeah, for them.
So now we're going to leave this pillar because this pillar here, we're talking about foundation, we're talking about like paternal history, and then that support that you had, your education background. So let's move on now to another pillar where we'll talk about the women who came before you.
Yeah.
So we'll switch now to the maternal side of your family. And you mentioned earlier that your mummy used to call you out. Usually moms would call like your full name, but in your case, she would call
Yeah,
you
she had
by.
gave me a nickname. Yes, yeah.
She called you by that adorable nickname. Um, what was life like from your mother's side? Like, what was her background like?
So her background is, I think, she grew up in Jalan Imbi. And this one is a bit more like hazy because like my paternal side, there's like books written and stuff, so I can like research it. But this one is really, really more like what you've heard from aunts and uncles and grandparents. But yeah, but they predominantly grew up in Jalan Imbi, and she had a large family. She had many siblings. One, and she was also, I think, she was the second child. So, but she has like there's five of them in the family, so there's a lot. And we're actually like I see them a lot more because they're based in. Most of them are based in KL. Yeah.
So just to give our listeners some perspective on Jalan Imbi, Jalan Imbi is kind of like in the heart of Kuala Lumpur near the Bukit Bintang district. It's long, sort of maybe 30, 40 years ago. That would have been, how would you describe Jalan Imbi?
At the time, 30, 40 years ago, it was a Chinese area. So there was a lot of Chinese food. Yeah. Imbi Pudu. Yeah.
That's right. Yes. Even all the printing shops, all the print shops,
Yes, it's still there. Yeah.
industry, right? There's a lot of like small shops, industry, factories as well.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you remember mom's mom or mom's grandmother?
Yeah, I remember my grandma and my granddad as well. But like my grandma, I think she only passed away like about like 4 or 5 years ago. So it's not
Sorry to
that
hear that.
long. Yeah, it's okay. It was time for her, but yeah. But she was a character for sure.
Yeah. So what's mom's surname if you don't what's mom's name?
Yeah, it's Leong.
Leong. That would be Cantonese also?
Yes,
Leong?
yeah, Cantonese on that side.
So you're really full-blown Cantonese, man.
Yeah.
And mom's mom? What
So
was
that's
her
my
name?
grandma.
Mm-hmm. Your grandma.
Wong.
Wong.
Yeah, Wong Kuk
So
Fong. Yeah.
Madam Wong. What was her name? Sorry?
What Wong Kuk Fong?
Wong Kuk Fong. I mean, nobody would ever call her name out, right?
No, it's just Popo.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Pawpaw. Yeah. Do you remember her mom?
No. I mean, my grandma doesn't even know what exact day she's born. Like it's, from that time when they were moving from China to Malaya, and the paperwork was like guesswork, to be honest, at that time. So yeah, we didn't know.
So
What.
this part of the podcast is where we kind of sort of just imagine these women, they would have been like maybe in their 20s or something, and they're coming out to Malaya from China, and they would probably be boarding some kind of ship, not a cruise ship, but some kind of ship.
Yeah, it's like a very harsh journey. Yeah.
I always think about that moment, like as they are boarding the ship, and it's like how
Saying
many.
bye to everyone you knew, and your life that's it. You're never seeing them again, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like you're then sailing, to God knows where,
Yeah.
for weeks on end.
New lands that you don't even know what it actually looks
So
like. You
brave.
hear what people said. Yeah. Nuts, but also like very adventurous if you're
Very
doing
adventurous. I think there's always studies that's been done that we are also very much personifications of our grandmothers. A lot of what they suffer or what they enjoy is personified in the granddaughters. It goes down that line scientifically, apparently. I can't quote the study, but do you see any traits from your grandma to you?
I don't know. I mean, the strange thing is, so I was mentioning this earlier to you, but like my next film and how I'm writing it is and this is from my paternal grandmother though, like from my dad's mother. Like somehow the way I'm writing it is I really feel her inside my body. And that was really the spark of like what I wanted to talk about and really the beginning of my next feature film. But I feel her inside me, and I've only met her once when I was a little baby, when I was like one or like barely two, I think, years old, and she was living in the UK. So she's British, um, and she was living in the UK at the time. And I remember my parents brought me to the UK to see her before she passed away. So I didn't know her at all, and that's my mama, like it's my British.
So you call her Mama. And
Yeah,
what was her name?
Gertrude Edith Lane.
Wow.
Yeah,
Lane.
yeah, Lane.
Do you think she could have had, I mean, she's English or she's,
She's English. Yeah.
oh,
English with Scottish, I think. Yeah.
okay. That's interesting. Very interesting. I can't wait to watch that movie.
Yeah, I know. I'm supposed to like I'm supposed to have a quiet year so that I can like actually write it. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe while we're talking about that, let's just go with that flow into the writing process, right? I see a lot of bits behind you.
Yeah, books, DVDs, also puzzles, which are my like de-stress.
Oh, by the way, on that thought, DVDs, right? Have you seen that latest film with uh uh sorry, mind blank. It's on Netflix. It's called All About Me,
No, I
funded
haven't.
by Bill Gates Foundation. Funded by Obama and Michelle and Obama Foundation.
Have not seen
And it's got Pretty Woman. What's her name?
Julia Roberts.
Julia Roberts.
Yeah, something about I haven't seen it, but yeah, I know of it.
I love that. Some people say it was a bomb, but I love that film because I laughed so hard at the end. No spoilers, but the DVDs are a giveaway.
Okay, okay.
But yeah, I do you keep DVDs? Like, do you
No,
actually keep them?
yeah.
So all your favorite ones, you store them?
I keep everything. I'm a hoarder. I like
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
throwing things away. Yeah.
Okay, what's the process of screenwriting for you?
Oh my God. It's like painful and enjoyable and painful. I say painful twice. No, it's difficult. I like it. I love like that, you're literally creating these worlds, and then when it's good, you fall in love with the world, you fall in love with the characters, and those are the good times. But then it can get really bad where you don't know what's happening and how it's everything not working out. So it's like a mix between like puzzle solving and also emotional and also being as honest and true to your voice as much as possible. So it's this balance that is that's yeah, kind of tricky. And the thing is, because I don't have a co-writer, or at least I haven't had that experience yet, so it's very sometimes very lonely where
Mm,
you just sit. And also procrastination is like the hugest thing when it comes to writing. You just like the fact that you have to sit down and like put words on a page is crazy. It's like one of the hardest things to do. It's like you'd rather clean your entire house than do that, which is such a weird like thing that humans have. So yeah, it's a weird process, but Yeah, I'm ready to start again. Yeah.
This is throwing a really bizarre question while you're writing, right? I'm just curious because in most of these podcasts, I always ask about food.
Yeah.
Because Chinese people, when they introduce each other, or even Southeast Asians,
Yeah,
actually,
we always ask, have you
yeah,
eaten?
have you
That's how
eaten,
we
right?
say hi. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so bizarre. I mean, which other culture does that? But
It's amazing culture. I love that. Yeah. And
so
food is so important.
food is so important. But I think, and I was thinking about this a lot, I think it's because our forefathers ran away in search of greener pastures because there was no food. And I remember my grandma telling me, my grandma's still alive, she's 105 in she's telling me how like she used to grow like sweet potato.
Mhm.
And during the war days, World War II this is, they were huddled up in the jungle and they would just cook sweet potato and rice.
Sweet potato was a huge deal in during that time. Yeah.
Right? And so when you're writing, when you're deep into all this, what is your go-to when it comes to food? Like, do you
Like,
even think about it?
oh God, I don't think about it at all. It's all junk food. It's like Maggie mee, like yeah, junk food or Grab food. Like when I'm in the writing like time, it's just trash. But it's nice to treat yourselves and like I think like me and my partner we love to have food explorations. We love to try like new places. So we'd always like plan around it and like if we have a day free, then yeah, we will drive out and try things.
You would
So
go
it's
look for food.
a balance of very like I love to be like, oh no, I eat very healthy when I'm like stressed, but no, I eat like horrible trash junk food. Yeah.
So now I understand why when you're traveling during these festivals, you're posting photos of nice food.
No,
I
I'm
get
a
it now.
good food person. Like it's like the thing that drives me. It's yeah, like one of the plus points of traveling so much. I don't care about seeing sights or monuments or whatever. I want to know, what do the people eat here? Like what is the best dish that you guys
Yeah.
can offer me? So yeah.
What's your ultimate go-to?
I mean, my favorite cuisines, I guess, would be yeah, Japanese, Korean, and Spanish. It
Mm.
always changes. We're always discussing this, but I think the top three is that. Yeah.
And when you're fixing something simple for yourself, what do you eat?
Like very fast, and it
Mm.
would be like a quick salad or maybe some grilled fish or something like
Oh,
that.
that's
Yeah.
very healthy.
Yeah, I told you I eat trash, so I need to like
Balance it out.
balance it and be healthy. Yes.
Well, thanks for sharing
Yeah.
that bit. Um, let's see. What about like did grandma cook for you?
So my maternal grandmother, yeah, she doesn't she would only cook like we'd see her cooking on Chinese New Year. So with the family gathering. And that would be like a huge stress. And she would be cooking like from morning and from the day before and everything. So that's the only time we see her cooking. Yeah.
Actually, it's amazing the amount of dishes that they can whip up.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. And sometimes it's only one person doing it because she refuses any help because she thinks the help, if you help, you're gonna destroy her flow, which I get actually. I totally get because like I love cooking as well, and sometimes there is a flow that you're like, no, you're making it worse,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because
Yeah,
it's concoctions, right? And you're putting ingredients together, and you really don't want somebody else to come and mess your
yeah,
cooking mojo.
exactly. Yeah.
Well, now we go back to cooking this film. How far in are you with this new film?
Oh my God, like not in like very, very early days. Like I
Okay.
haven't even like written like a proper treatment, but like it's just like a lot of things bubbling inside me. And I think I started by doing a lot of research because it's a period film, so it's set during 1930s Malaya, right before World War II, which is why I wanted to kind of have that basic knowledge of like that era first and before I start like inputting all sorts of crazy shit into it.
Speaking about that era, there is a book that I want to read. It's Tan Tuan Eng's The Red Door, I think. I think
I
it's set around that era.
Yeah, I haven't, but he always does stuff around that.
Yeah, yeah. I was watching the Garden of Evening Mists
Right.
as well. So that was it, it's it's really actually interesting how that era is captured because the 1930s, like when you hear about 1930s in the Western world,
Yeah.
1930s, 1920s, right? It was really a lot of fun. It was all the speakeasies in America.
Yeah.
And in Malaya, it was also really fun.
Yeah. No, it was crazy. It was wild. It was like, and even more exciting, it was so multicultural, the wild places, let's say. Not the ones that I'm talking about, the underground places. I'm talking about the places where white people were scared to go into. But like those areas were crazy, and yeah, the nightlife, the kind of creativity that was in there, the kind of speech, the kind of discussions that people were having were very, very kind of exciting at that time. Yeah.
Actually, I can't remember. Sorry, history escapes me right now, but that Sun Yat-sen time, because in Penang there's a Sun Yat-sen house, and I think if I'm not mistaken, it was around that time as well, but maybe more towards the 20s.
I think a little bit earlier, yeah.
Yeah, so there was all this thing happening. There was like Somerset Maugham coming, and then there's this Sun Yat-sen coming, right? And then there's the Cheong Fat Si mansion, that Cheong Fat Si guy in the region, and so much was happening. I mean, Penang, Ipoh, Malacca, the Straits of Malacca. It was just such an exciting place.
It's crazy, and then it all just kind of like explodes in World War II, basically, like a lot of places. But I think it was like I love that that time was like a kind of bottleneck of like this like a lot of discussions of views about politics, but also it was so much color in like in the arts, in performances, in like underground places, and also so much color in like multiculturalism and the lack of it or the too much of it or the control of it. Yeah, like undercover agents coming in, scouting areas. It's so like exciting. Yeah.
I'm really curious what you watched when you were in boarding school, and were you even allowed to watch TV?
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I can answer that. So when I was in boys' school, of course it's like very strict. There's a lot of rules. You had to kind of like uh there were certain hours where you're allowed to watch TV, and especially like, the major soaps you're allowed to watch. But then like, of course, I was the naughty kid, and I remember when I was really young, I was really into South Park as well, and like when South Park was first starting, and so like I remember like organizing with all the girls in my house to have this like very organized mass movement from our dorms to the TV room, because the TV room was always locked, but there's a fire escape that we could climb up through the ladder, and like we would like climb up through the ladder, like everyone one by one, like in twos, and like quietly do it, tiptoeing around. And then we'd watch like these midnight films that were on TV. And I was obsessed with these midnight films, films that, we definitely were too young to watch. I remember even being the kid, like going to my friends' houses and making her record like Texas Chainsaw Massacre at 1 a.m. and then getting caught for it because the parents like, you can't watch this. You're like 13 years old or whatever. I'm like, why not? I want to watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I don't watch like films where there's like blood and guts being thrown everywhere. So yeah, that was what I was really into. And I even remember I had the job, I think in my sixth form, where everyone wanted this job, and it was the job to go to Blockbuster Video to rent out, like two films or
A
one film.
video store where you
Yeah, the
actually
video
rent videos.
store, so that the whole house can watch it. And I just rented whatever I wanted. I got in so much trouble because I was renting stuff that like, the rating was too high for these kids. And I was like, yeah, I think I lost that position very quickly because I was renting out like a lot of horror, a lot of very campy stuff. I remember I got in trouble for renting out Rocky Horror Picture Show, and I was like, what? It's a musical, it's fun. Like, and they were like, no, 11-year-olds can't watch it or whatever. I was like, bullshit. So yeah, I was doing that.
Thanks so much for sharing your bon vivant. I think that should be made into a film. Just that period of you. Another film, another film, or an animation cartoon. So they always say that it takes a village to make a film, right?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
So before you go into reading this piece, maybe you can share a little bit about that village.
I don't know how to say. It started with me and my producer Fu Fei Ling, who is the other half of Ghost Grrl Pictures, just the two of us, and a long journey of 5 years where we are creating that village, whether it be the team that's based here or even our international co-producers are also part of the big family. So it's as you grow, as you learn more, as you're on this journey, it's you're creating that village. And I think we're starting again with the next film, but it's nice to already have family members who are willing to hear you out for your next journey. Yeah.
From another Malaysian living overseas, we can only see Malaysia through your optics. Thank you for bringing this kind of optics out to the world. It makes us feel really proud to say I'm Malaysian and she's Malaysian. I think it's when a product like that comes out, it's because Malaysia's gone through so many bumps along the way, right? Internationally, what we are known for. So it's actually really nice to see great films coming up from Malaysia. So good luck and
good year for Malaysian cinema.
Yeah, just be yourself, man.
Exactly. That's the key.
Okay, we're gonna wrap up now. And we're gonna wrap up with you reading one of your most favorite anything.
Yeah.
So just sharing that with us. So let us know who the author is and the title, and then take it away.
Okay, so it's a poem. It's by Charles Bukowski, who is, a very famous author who, was also very crazy. But I discovered this poem and I found out that he's also a cat person. So I was like, oh, I can relate. So it's called My Cats. I know, they are limited, have different needs and concerns, but I watch and learn from them. I like the little they know, which is so much. They complain but never worry. They walk with a surprising dignity. They sleep with a direct simplicity that humans just can't understand. Their eyes are more beautiful than our eyes, and they can sleep 20 hours a day without hesitation or remorse. When I am feeling low, all I have to do is watch my cats and my courage returns. I study these creatures. They are my teachers.
Really appreciate it. I hope I'll do you lots of justice with this one. And yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So the plan is to record 99 women.
Amazing. Good luck with that. All right. Thank you.
Take care. Bye.